Today we're going to talk about young babies, how to manage them and how to work with them from birth up to weaning.
What you can say about the first week of the foals?
What we do the first day of the foal, I have already explained what we do after the birth. One day after birth, the earliest 24 hours after the foal is born, we do a snap test. And that's testing the colostrum level of the foal. So this is a snap test. It comes with a fluid. You take a few drops of blood from the foal and you mix with the fluid and you wait for half an hour. And then you have to check. There are 2 points on the snap test. And it's gonna grow a point between the two that have to have at least the color of the original spot. The darker it is, the higher the colostrum level. Mm-hmm. So this is very dark. It's very good level of colostrum in the foal. So you don't need to add any plasma, which you do if the colostrum level is too low, because it means the foal has low resistance and immunity.
And this has to be done immediately after the birth?
The test we do 24 hours after birth, because then the foal has been drinking and the milk has gone through the system, so we can see how much of the colostrum the foal absorbed.
So we saw you gave the milk with the bottle?
Yes.
To be certain that was drinking really.
Then we already
quantity.
know they have 300 milliliters for sure of the colostrum. Plus, when they wake up after first nap, after a bottle, they will be stronger and hungry. And the udders of the mare will not be as hard and painful because we took some milk out. So the mare will not be so annoyed when the foal comes to push. So it's easier for the mare to accept, especially young mares, when the foal comes to push, when the mare is already sore after foaling. So for that, to give a bottle, it's very good, in my opinion.
And then in 24 hours you also do this test?
Yes, after 4 hours we do this test. And in case the level would be too low, we give plasma, blood plasma, through the blood. It's rare that we need to do, but if there is the smallest hesitation or if it's even on the limit, we give. And if we give plasma, we also give plasma that has antibodies for rhodococcus, which is the most common disease in young foals. So then they build a high resistance also against rhodococcus.
So about the first day
Yes.
of the foals, you do also the serum?
Yes, we give tetanus serum. If the foal is born during night, our vet comes the following day, check that the navel is good, well disinfected, because we do this when the foal is born, and to give the serum against tetanus.
And normally you do it, for example, when you are doing this?
Sometimes if the foal is born early morning or late at night, it will be too early to do this. Because this we can do only after 24 hours. But the serum we anyway give, the vet will come the same day of birth to give the serum. And if it's too early for the snap test, we wait and the vet comes back.
First day of the foal. 24 hours after the birth, it's important to test the colostrum's level through a snap test. If the colostrum level is too low, then you should give plasma to the foal to increase his immunity system. It's also important to give tetanus serum.
When the foal is about a week old, the mare comes in heat for the first time. It's called the foal heat. And this affects the foal. And he gets a little bit of stomach ache often and diarrhea. And we also help them out of that because it can be very annoying and they can also be dehydrated because of that. So we usually give them just Imodium for people. We go to the pharmacy and they get 2 pills per day, Imodium, and we just give it in the mouth. So usually this helps them very well and it's more than enough. And then we also wash their butts because the diarrhea will burn the hair away and it's painful and very annoying for them. So we wash the butts and then we put them full of Vaseline because that protects their skin. So this is what we do on the fall heat on all the babies, and some have it more than others, but
and
it's
you
routine.
give 2 pills together or
Yeah.
Ah,
We put the two.
together
You
once
have
a
these
day.
pills that goes very easy in water.
Yeah.
They dilute in a second, and then in a little syringe, and then we put it in the mouth. We teach already the foals to be touched around their mouth and in their mouth. It's also the first lesson of deworming or giving anything in the mouth. What many people do is to give a syringe from front, put it inside the mouth, and the foal will maybe react. And what you do is to how do you say, to harm his gum with the end of the syringe. And then of course it makes pain and he will react to it and he will not like it next time. So what we always do too, when you have the mouth of the foal, we come with the finger this way. Put the finger first, that he's relaxed, like we do with the clipping, first touch. And then we put the syringe in this way. And then we shoot it inside. Because if you come this way, you can already start a tension on touching around the mouth.
And do you give also milk later or not?
No, just the first bottle. Unless some colts by nature are less eager than the fillies and a little slower. Or when you have a foal that's weak, for example, and will not find the others easily. If we cannot help them within an hour to find it themselves, then we give a second bottle. But then we try to give that bottle between the legs of the mare to teach them to come that direction. But it's rare that we need to give more than one bottle.
First week. During the first week after giving birth, the mare has her first heat. This usually causes stomachache to the foal. It's important to keep the foal clean, well hydrated, and when necessary, giving them treatment to block the diarrhea.
Our foals, first of all, we handle them quite a lot the first month of their life. So we lead them every day out and in, touch them every day a little bit, lift their feet, get them tame, make them want to be with us, scratch them, and then they go outside and stay outside if it's summertime. So they stay day and night out in mixed groups, family groups. So we have yearlings, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and mares with foals. So all the foals, they learn, like in a normal herd, to respect other horses, horse language, and how to act in a herd. And they stay out as much as possible. We take them in when we need to make photos sometimes, or when we need to trim the feet. We wean our foals around 6 months of age, not earlier. I know it's quite common to wean early, 3 or 4 months. We don't do it for many reasons. First of all, the foal is not independent at this age. He still needs his mother and he needs guidance. He needs to learn from his mother. He needs the milk. He needs the calcium in the milk to grow. And he's not ready yet to be alone. So we wean normally between 6 and 7 months. It's usually very, very undramatic because our foals are tame. They tend to want to be with human. So once we wean, we take the 2 oldest foals and we wean them at the same time, staying in separate boxes, but they can see and touch each other. So we try to make that as undramatic as possible. We keep them inside the first night, and next morning they go back during day in the group they were. So they go with the same friends, other foals, other mothers, only their own mothers are elsewhere. And we move the mothers quite far that they cannot hear each other. And normally it's very undramatic. We don't hear yelling or running. They're old enough to already have groups of friends, so they're just acting pretty much like normal.
And about the milk, when you separate, the mares,
Yes.
what do you do to them?
The mares.
Yeah.
That's also another point. When you wean late, the milk disappears faster because at 3 months the mare is not ready to separate from her foal. So you more often have problems with others. What we do with the mare after weaning, we turn her out so that she moves, because movement will also help her to get rid of the milk. And then we take Vicks that you buy in the pharmacy, and we put the others full of Vicks for a few days, and that will decrease the volume of it. So we always put Vicks, let them out.
Only once.
Every morning we do. Every morning for maybe 3 or 4 days, and you see very quickly it goes smaller. When you put the mare in a box, standing still, it's gonna
Tend
go.
to produce more milk.
And that's the same with the babies, to decrease stress. The sooner you can let them out with the same friends, the better. And then we're first weaning the 2 oldest foals, and then we try to wean the rest one by one. Every few weeks we wean another one. So the last one weaned will come in a little group of foals that are already confident and calm without stress. So they will affect the new weanling and calm him. If you wean a full herd of young, they will be lost and they will start to excite each other. One is maybe more excited than the other, and they will all adapt to the most stressed. So we always try to wean slowly, one by one, and they all go back in the same group. So in the end, we have one mare with 10 or 15 weanlings until we remove the mare. And then we have a pony mare, older mare, that we put in the herd, and she will educate the young.
Weaning. The best moment to start the weaning, in Johanna's opinion, is around 6 months. At this age, the foal is able to eat by itself. If possible, it's better to wean 2 foals at the same moment and move the mothers away from the herd, letting the foals come back into a familiar group. The whole process shouldn't be the source of stress for the foal. The mothers should be turned out so they can move in order to help stop the milk production. However, there are many medications to stop the milk production.
And then we have a part-bred gelding. He's going with the colts. So we have a little colt herd, and he actually educates colts between weanling and 3-year-old. We have had that mix of ages. Because when you slowly introduce them in the group, and you have a gelding that does a good job, he will defend the young and he will tell off the older. And all the young will learn there is someone stronger always. And by this, we can also avoid a lot of bad behavior in colts. Our colts are not biting, our colts are not rearing, they're not challenging, because they do this together.
And till which age you keep them together?
3.
Colts?
3. 3.
With no gelding?
Oh, you mean when we don't have a... Now we have a gelding, but we had to... Last time we had 2 colts together. They were 3 years old, and one had bred mares, but they were growing up together. I would not take 2 colts that were never with others and put them. They will fight. But when they grow together, they will live together. They're used to that.
They already know each one.
And you can say it's dangerous. For me, it's also dangerous to isolate horses, frustrate horses, put horses inside too much, have ulcers, have colics, make them roll to the walls, make their tendons soft because of not enough exercise out, make their hoof quality bad. There are more dangers to me to isolate horses, put them alone inside, than to teach them from start to be together. We do this for so many years, and you can have a scratch on a colt, but we never have any major issues because they grow up like this. And for me, it makes my work so easy because I get colts that have no frustration or no reason to challenge me. I'm a friend, and these colts, they have played. They have challenged each other. They have been wild together. There's no... Colts biting or challenging are mostly colts that are understimulated, and we blame them for that. When you put them together, it makes it easy for you.
And they stay out all seasons?
What we do with our colts, we have a big pasture with a shelter, and there we keep, even winter time, a few colts together. We take a few of them inside, work a few weeks, let out again, take in a few others. So they all get a bit of training, schooling, working, washing, learning, loading, trail in hand, fly out again with the friends a few weeks, coming in again. So they do a bit of everything. And by this, also by staying outside, they build resistance and they become healthy. Our babies, sometimes they're a little snotty in the summer, but as yearlings we very rarely have sick yearlings. Not even after shows, because they have resistance.
Colt's herd. Having a gelding will help raising the colts into the right way. He will protect the younger and teach the older ones to behave. Growing up together into a stimulating environment, they will grow up stress-free, not developing unwanted, challenging behavior as adults.
By this time, they also already eat well at 6 months. So we don't need to worry for that. And at this time of 6 or 7 months, it's also easier and less stressful for them, so we can avoid ulcers. That's a very, very common problem in horses, because they are very easy affected by stress and very, very easily having ulcers. So when we wean, we also usually always give a little bit of supplement helping against ulcers for a few days.
How you recognize if they have it or not?
The first sign is not eating well. So as soon a horse, for example, if we go to a show or a stallion is breeding or a foal is weaned and they don't have appetite, we give ulcer medication. So usually after giving just 1 or 2 days, they eat again. So
Yeah, because I know that's really something very, that for us is not so dramatic, for them can cause these things.
It's going, with a foal, it's going down very quickly, and when they have ulcers, their resistance go lower too. And then they get snotty and sick and just miserable, stop to eat, lose weight, and you have a bad starting point of the future of a foal. So for
And
that,
sometimes I know, I learned that if you heard the foals that with the teeth is doing like,
ulcers.
yeah,
And
this is one symptom.
horses with ulcers, normally when you touch, they are very sensitive here. Many horses yell, or horses that you ride that don't want you to tighten the saddle, that yell or squeal or don't like, it's often a sign of ulcers too. So it's the most common problem in horses. Feeding has to do with it too. Our babies, they have free access to hay. That's the basic feed of horse, because he needs fiber. And a common problem also is to give more grain than hay. And grain, they eat very fast. It's not high in fiber, so it's a different part of the stomach working. The more fiber they eat, the kinder you are to the stomach and the intestines of the young horse. So all our horses, all our mares and foals, all our breeding stallions, they have free access of hay, always. So that's another important point, and also turn out to avoid all stress. They go out in the morning, as soon they come inside they have hay and they can touch friends. So this, for me, it's very important to young horses.
Ulcers. Horses can easily develop ulcers. The main causes of ulcer are stress and wrong alimentation. Weaning at 6 months is a stress-free way helping prevent this problem, which in young foals can have a dramatic outcome. It is also important to support the weaning with some supplements against ulcer. Thanks for watching Lesson 5, Foal Basic Management. During the first month, it is important to pay extra attention to your foal. Make a plan to wean your foals around 6 months of age with as less stress as possible. Be on the lookout for possible signs of ulcer, as it is very common and dangerous.
Unmatched passion. Those are the words that come to mind when talking about Marieta Salas. Her love for Arabian horses started about 60 years ago and never wavered.
I was 14 when I saw an Arabian horse. I was completely impressed by 11 little mares, all alike. They were Congo daughters. This was in Jerez, in Spain.
Year after year, Ces Planes has produced endless gold champions, and some of them became worldwide legends. Marieta is not only an excellent breeder, she is also a dreamer. She dreamt about a world where Arabian horses are seen as life companionship and not simply a means to an end, where everyone will be able to see that the true beauty of an Arabian horse lay in his soul and not only on their pretty heads.
The first time a foal was born, that is my special moment. Because, okay, when you win prizes is nice, but it comes and goes. So when you see a foal, a baby born, this is what impresses me, or what I like most about Arabian horse.
Marieta Salas and her Ganaderia Ses Planes are proud to offer to the world the second masterclass of Johanna Ullstrom.